Alright folks, I'm in the process of fine tuning the laser on my Model 1 PlayStation here. It's a 1002 model. It's actually the one that I painted black. That's the top of it there. Yes, so the laser in this was quite tired, and I bought a couple of the cheap Chinese laser units off eBay, which is basically what this video is about. So, a while ago, couple of months ago, I ordered the lasers, and they arrived in a couple of weeks, and they've been sitting and I haven't got round to putting them in. So this is one of the units here. When you look for these on eBay, they're actually sold for the later PS1, the smaller version of the PlayStation, but the laser is actually exactly the same unit that fits in the Model 1 PlayStation. With the fat PlayStation, there was quite a few revisions of the laser, but the laser unit is exactly the same as the one in the PS1. So yeah, you can buy these laser units on eBay. I think they were about £4 each, including shipping from China. And my advice to you is don't even bother wasting your time with them, because they're cheap crap. Now, this laser unit that I have in this at the minute is actually out of a PS1. It's a proper, Sony laser unit that was taken from a functioning PS1. What happened was, when I put the cheap Chinese laser in, put it in, turned it on, and it seemed to be working. It would read, retail games fine. Now this PlayStation is chipped. It had severe problems reading the copied games, but it would read the retail games fine. But when it went to take the CD back out of the PlayStation, this spindle unit actually came off with the CD. Now it was just this very centre part with the ball bearings in it actually come out with the CD when I lifted it out. So that was my first indication that these were crap. Another thing that I noticed is this wider part here that I have my finger on, the CD actually sits down onto it. It doesn't sit flush, doesn't sit level, so as the CD spins it's actually wobbling, which isn't a good sign, which probably would make it harder for it to read CDs, because the CD isn't running smoothly over the laser lens. So I found a guide online for fine tuning the lasers on these. With the Model 1, there's actually 3 different pots or potentiometers for setting up a laser. There's 2 on the motherboard here. If I can zoom in, there's one here and one here, and there's actually one on the ribbon cable as well. So they're a bit more complicated to set up than the later PlayStation ones, which only have one pot. This one here. So I found a guide online and started setting it all up. Now I actually use a multimeter. You take readings and you can set up each pot exactly where it should be via the voltage rating that it's putting out. Changing these pots changes the voltage that goes through them, basically. Once I started trying to fine tune this laser unit, it died. The laser still pops up and down, but the centre spindle doesn't spin anymore, so it's basically crap. It's had about 10 minutes use and it's dead. I actually have another one of these here, which I bought at the same time. I bought 2 together, and I have yet to even try this one, but I'm not holding out any hope for it. If I can get this open with one hand, it'll be flying. So yeah, this is supposedly brand new, and again, it's just cheap crap. Don't even waste your money. Excuse me, don't even waste your money buying these things. I'm guessing that this spindle is probably going to pop off with the first CD that I put on it. Like I said, I've yet to try it, but with my results with the other one, yeah, I'm not holding out much hope. So basically the moral of the story is, if you need to replace the laser in your Model 1 1002 model PlayStation, get yourself a second hand, good condition PS1, the slim version, and swap a laser out. Now, one thing I will mention is this black cover, black plastic cover that goes over the CD unit. When you buy these, it comes with a grey plastic cover, which is for the PS1. They're actually a slightly different shape, which stops it from fitting through the hole in the top cover. So you'll need to swap out your black plastic cover, but it's basically just 2 screws holds it on, so that's easy done. But if you try to fit it with this grey cover, fit it to it, it won't fit in the hole basically. So you'll need to swap out the black plastic cover, because these are designed for the PS1, the later version. Try and get this fucking thing open again. I shouldn't have closed it. Yeah, so when you get it, it comes with this grey cover on it, which you will need to swap out. But like I said, don't even bother. Just get a PS1, buy a PS1 slim model, and swap the laser out. You'll still need to swap the grey cover for the black cover that's on your original PlayStation, but that should give you far better results. Now this laser, like I mentioned, is actually from a PS1, so it's a proper Sony unit. So I sacrificed a PS1 basically to get this one working perfectly. Swap the black cover over, and then I have set up all my pots. One thing I will mention here is, when you take the lid off one of these PlayStations, this power supply is bare and it is lethal. On a PAL unit here, I have 240 volt coming in, and it's a switching power supply, so parts of this are up to 400 volts. If you touch something while this is open and you have it powered on, you are dead. So be extremely careful when you're working at one of these. Even, you know, lay a bit of cardboard or something over it, because the pots that you're tuning are right down in here, you know, 2 inches away from potential death. So you do need to be extremely careful with these. Well, give it a test out here and I'll show you just how well this is running. Now, like I said, before I set this all up via the guide, this even had problems booting a copied game, let alone running it perfectly. So I have Abe's Exodus here. The discs, or the games that you want to test your laser with, is something with loads of full motion video, in-game movies, that sort of thing. If they jump and skip, then you know your laser needs either set up or replaced. Hit the on button. I have a little portable DVD player here, which I'm using as my test TV, if you will. I like to use this, it's handy to move about. There's a line in on it, obviously. There she goes. Try and get you in a bit closer here. Just press the start button, skip past this stuff here. Maybe, yeah. Hopefully you can hear that okay. I'll turn the volume up a bit. The volume knob on this is a bit crackly.
In case you was too cheap to purchase our last game, let me tell you a bit about what happened. It was all about this Abe guy that worked in this dumb meat factory called Rupture Farms. The place was run by Gluckins, and they was on the verge of going out of business. They had already chopped up all the wild creatures, so now they had no choice but to chop up Abe and his buddies too. We gave Abe the ability to talk, so we could do the right thing and rescue his pals.
Hello, follow me, okay.
But some people didn't care about doing the right thing.
Hello.
They thought it was more fun to get them all shot. Or ground up.
Hello. Oops. Banana.
Or crushed.
So yeah,
Or even beaten.
that's working as smooth as a baby's bum. I do still have, I've tested this out with several different games, and there is a couple of games that still jump and skip a bit, but I think I've got it as sort of good as I'm going to get it. It runs in 90% of the games perfectly. I've read several places that if you're going to chip a PS1, not to pick the first version because of the renowned for laser problems. The lasers overheat because they're so close to the power supply. If you look at the later versions, the lasers actually moved across to the side of the machine, which keeps it away from the heat, and they're far more reliable. But yeah, I've had this PlayStation for years, so I'm really happy to get this thing basically as good as it's going to get. It's not 100% perfect, but yeah, it's pretty close. It's a lot better than what it was, and it's a lot better than what it was when I had this shitty Chinese laser in it, which will be getting thrown in the bin because it's scrap. The other one I will keep, but to be honest, I don't even know if I'm going to use it because I'd rather pick up a PS1 Slim for a £5 and use the laser out of it, because it's, you know, it costs about the same as these fucking shitty things. There is a date code on this. Hopefully the camera will pick it up. 2012. What's that? The 3rd, so March 2012. And yeah, it's not worth the £4 that I made for it, or paid for it, sorry. There's the model number there, it's KSM 440BAM, which is the laser out of the PS1 Slim, but it also fits these. So yeah, moral of the story is, don't buy cheap Chinese crap. Just get yourself a second-hand PS1 and steal the laser out of it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this was informative for someone. Catch you next time. Bye for now.